The best cat leash? But a leash is just a leash, right? Wrong. Your cat's leash is arguably one of the most important pieces of gear when you're out adventuring together. It can seriously make or break the experience. So keep watching to find out what features to look for in a leash so that you and your cat can have the best and most successful adventures. Hi, I'm Emily, cat trainer and cat adventure enthusiast. My goal is to educate, support, and encourage you to get out there, go new places, and do new things with your cat. Let's learn, grow, and explore together. Everyone's always looking for the best cat harness, but not nearly as much thought seems to go into what leash to use. When it comes to cat leashes, though, there's more to consider than you might think. Length, width, material, weight, and whether or not to go retractable, all of these factors play a role in ensuring a safe and successful outing with your cat. It may sound dramatic to say that the leash can make or break the adventure experience, but it's true. Use a leash that's too heavy and it's going to cause your cat's harness to constantly slide to the side, making it difficult to walk. A leash that's too short and your cat's going to be a lot more likely to be able to slip out of their harness. First up, let's talk leash length. Your standard leash is going to be 5 to 6 feet long, and then it can go up in length from there. Then you have your retractable leashes, which can extend anywhere from 10 to 20 plus feet in length. And then there are even your long line leashes, which can be anywhere from 20, 30, 40, 50 plus feet long. There are two schools of thought when it comes to leash length. One, go with a longer leash so that your cat has more freedom to explore. And two, use a shorter leash so that you have more control over the situation. Because cats tend to meander, sniff, explore, and wander at their own pace, a lot of people prefer to use a longer leash because it allows their cat those freedoms. A long leash is also handy if your cat likes to go into the bushes and other harder to reach areas. The downside to a longer leash is that you have less control over your cat. What happens if an off-leash dog approaches and your cat's 15 feet away from you? Or for some reason you have to quickly pick up your cat and they're 20 feet away from you? For these reasons, many people, including myself, prefer using a shorter leash. That being said, you don't want your leash to be too short because then your cat is going to be more likely to be able to slip out of their harness. A leash pulled taut gives your cat the leverage they need to be able to slip out. So it's important to maintain plenty of leash slack. This is more difficult with a shorter leash. Click up here to learn more about preventing cat harness escapes. So how short is too short and how long is too long? Well, there really is no clear-cut answer. It all comes down to personal preference, what you're comfortable with, and what types of environments you'll be adventuring in. For example, there's probably a lot less dangers in your backyard, so you might feel comfortable using a 20 or 30 foot length leash when you're out there. However, if you're out on a hiking trail where there are dogs and other potential dangers, you might want to stick with, say, an 8-foot leash. I personally use a 6-foot leash most of the time. That doesn't allow for too much slack, but after years of adventuring and leash handling, I feel pretty confident in my ability to maintain my position in relationship to my cats in a way that ensures they don't get the necessary leverage to slip out of their harness. For someone just beginning, I'd maybe recommend an 8 to 10 foot leash. Now, leash width. This mostly comes down to personal preference, but keep in mind that the wider the leash, the heavier it will be, which is not ideal. A leash width of 3/8 inch to 1/2 inch is pretty standard and works well for most cats. Speaking of leash weight, as I said, lighter is better. The length, width, and material will all factor into the overall weight of the leash, but probably the most important factor is going to be the clasp that attaches to your cat's harness. A bigger clasp, like those on most dog leashes, will cause your cat's harness to slide to the side as they walk, making it awkward and uncomfortable. This can greatly impede your cat's leash training progress and their overall adventure experience. Who would want to explore outside when there's some big, clunky, heavy thing pulling them to the side constantly? Finding a leash that's lightweight but still durable is so important. As for the leash material, there are a few popular choices. Nylon, bungee nylon, leather, and biothane are all pretty common. Your standard leash found at any pet store is typically made of nylon. They're inexpensive and lightweight, which is great. The biggest downside to nylon is that it quickly picks up dirt and leaves and debris. It won't be long before your nylon leash is stained, smelly, and dirty. Bungee leashes are usually covered in nylon as well. The upside to a bungee leash is that they provide some shock absorbency if your cat tends to pull on the leash or quickly dart after things. They do come with all the same downsides as a regular nylon leash though. Leather is a more upscale option. Leather is durable and comfortable in the hand, but if you don't keep it maintained and oiled, it will dry out and crack over time, making it a bit high maintenance. Biothane is a faux leather option that is waterproof, odor-proof, easily cleanable, lightweight yet durable, and flexible. After discovering Biothane, it is the only kind of leash that I use. At first, I did have difficulty finding a Biothane leash that was designed specifically with cats in mind. Most of what I was finding were designed for dogs, so that meant they were wider and heavier and came with big, heavy clasps. Not so great for cats. I eventually decided to try my hand at making my own Biothane leash, designed specifically for cats, which I have deemed the Kylo Leash, named after my best adventure companion, Kylo Ren. The Kylo Leash is extremely customizable. I have several color, length, and hardware choices available, and you can even get your leash engraved if you'd like. There is both a basic model with a regular leash handle, as well as a hands-free model that can be worn in several ways. And the best part about a Kylo Leash is that it comes with a lifetime guarantee, which means if something breaks or goes wrong with your leash at any time, I'll either repair or replace it at no extra cost to you. Either click the box up in the corner or check the video description for the links to go customize your own Kylo Leash. Okay, enough about that. Let's talk now about the controversial topic of retractable leashes. As with a lot of the factors I've discussed so far, whether or not to use a retractable leash is truly a matter of personal preference. Some people love them, some people hate them. In case you're unfamiliar with them, a retractable leash is a style of leash that extends anywhere from 5 to 20 to 30 plus feet in length. They extend and retract as your cat walks, though you can lock them into position to create a fixed length. There are benefits to the retractable leash. They allow your cat more freedom to explore, and as I mentioned, they can be locked into place at varying lengths. However, they also come with several drawbacks. They can break. There are moving parts in there, and it's not unheard of for the mechanism that allows for the leash to extend and retract to break, or for the cord to pull out completely. They can cause injury. They're usually a very thin cord, which can easily get wrapped around fingers and legs and cause cuts or rope burns. Plus, they're big and bulky and don't really allow for you to hold anything else in your hand. But the worst drawback of them all is that if you were to drop the leash handle, it would chase after your cat as it tries to retract in on itself. This can be truly terrifying for the cat, which can cause serious setbacks in their training and overall adventure experience. There are many cat adventurers who use retractable leashes and love them. I just prefer the simplicity and reliability of a fixed length leash. Okay, that was a lot of information, probably more than you might have expected when it comes to just a leash. But it really is such an important piece of adventuring gear. If you're interested in checking out my Kylo leashes, be sure to check the video description for the shopping links, as well as to some links to other helpful resources. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and embark on those unforgettable journeys together. Happy adventuring!